how can sex, the most intimate way, or one of the most intimate ways people can be connected, not mean something?
Yeah.
So it's a lie in our culture.
That's so important. I think so many young people, especially young girls, are buying into the lie that sex is just no big deal. You just do it and move on. It's not really going to affect you emotionally. I mean, even chemically, we know scientifically the chemicals that are released, especially in a woman's body, are similar to the hormones that are released when you nurse a baby that bond you to the
That's
baby.
right.
My secular Buddhist midwife told me that when I was pregnant with my son. I mean, she's not even coming from a Christian sexual ethic, but she's saying, sex is not just no big deal. It actually is a big deal chemically and scientifically. So what would be another damaging distortion that you see that's really affecting us negatively as a people?
Yeah, I think one of the lies is that you can give somebody your body and it doesn't affect your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So the nature of a hookup is you just get together with somebody from making out and sex, but you're just friends and then you move on. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a release or it's just fun. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the problem is that we are body and we are soul. What we do with our body affects our soul, and what we do with our soul affects our bodies. So there's a reason why girls especially will feel like, oh, I'm just having sex for fun. But then when they wake up, there's a deep sense of loneliness,
Mm.
a sense of yearning. You want to be held. You want to be committed to. So it's a lie in our culture that says you can separate your body from your soul. So I had a guy probably 10 years younger than I am and not a believer. And he was telling me about all these girls that he's hooking up with. And I just asked him, I was like, do you ever feel guilty? And he's like, no, it's not a big deal. We just have sex. It's fun. And I remember thinking, like, how do I approach this conversation for him to realize that he doesn't actually believe that? So I thought about it a while, and I can't remember. It might have been 4 or 5, 6 weeks later. I saw him. I said, hey, I got a question for you. I said, do you think a handshake means something? He's like, of course. I said, do you think a kiss on the cheek means something? He goes, yes. I said, do you think a slap on the face means something? He says, yes. I said, so if a handshake and a kiss on the cheek and a slap on the face mean something within themselves, how can sex, in which you're the most intimate with your body with another person, not mean anything?
Mm.
And it was like he was literally speechless. I'm not pretending that I always have these moments of like giving people. I don't want to communicate that to the audience, but it
Yeah.
was one of those moments where
Yeah.
he was just looking at me and he kind of smirked and was like, I see your point. You see, the culture was like, just use your body, have sex, it's fun. It doesn't mean anything. And he had bought that lie. And
Yeah.
then when he reflected on it, we know we communicate with our bodies.
Mm.
Look, if you go buy a used car and the salesman, shakes your hand and looks you in the eye, but he sold you a lemon, he lied to you with his body. We can communicate just with our bodies. And so this generation is told it doesn't mean anything. And yet we know when you look at somebody and put your hand out, when you go with this with your fists, when you
Mm-hmm.
wink at somebody, you're communicating something. So how can sex, the most intimate way, or one of the most intimate ways people can be connected, not mean something?
Yeah.
So it's a lie in our culture that you can just separate your body from your whole person and having it affect your soul.
It's so true. And even in popular media, just regular TV shows, it just seems like every time you turn around or you turn on a show, especially the way that they'll model how they're portraying women should be, where it's maybe a one night stand and she's the one saying, oh yeah, I'm you got to go, I've got my life to live, and she's not engaged emotionally at all, and it's the guy that's like, oh, I don't want to leave, or it just seems like this is everywhere.
Right.
And it's really just such a lie, and it's lying to everyone. But just as a female, I see the lies that are being basically sent to my daughter, where For her to consider herself a strong, independent woman, she has to view sex this way, according to popular media. And it really is just such a lie. And I think you brought up a couple of really good examples that demonstrate that really deep down inside, we all know this. I think everyone, you actually have to sort of separate yourself from your emotional instincts to believe the lies, I think, that are in so much of our culture.